go. Here we are. Good morning, friends. It is 5:44 a.m. The sound actually isn't that bad. On that one, maybe just a bit soft. It is 5:44 a.m. and I'm about to get started. For those of you who are watching, my name is Toby. I am 41 years old and I train to live an active, self-sufficient and adventurous life. I do so by minding my sleep, minding what I eat, trying to keep active, spending time with people I love and care about, and doing things that I enjoy. Generally, I just try to live a stress-free life. Now, if you are interested in any of that, then you've come to the right place. I slept terribly last night, apparently. Less than 6 hours. That is never a good sign. So that is definitely something I need to remedy tonight by going to bed early. We're going to do some mobility today. I am recovering from last night's judo session. First of all, went to bed late. Second of all, I always just wake up at 5 a.m. So there's the part of the sleep issue explained right there. But we are just going to take it easy and we're going to see what my body lets me do this morning, because I think that is the key. Feel a bit banged up, but not in a bad way. It's just a good, intense training session. I think you use just about every muscle in your body, all of the mobility that you have, everything comes into play, especially when you're being spun around, thrown around, flipped over your head, arm locked, put in chokeholds. There are just different kinds of stresses at work, and we need time to come down of those and recover. But for life in general, because this isn't about recovering for judo, why am I doing all of this, right? I'm doing all of this because I understand that we will live long lives, and we might live long lives but not happy and healthy lives. Generally, the last 10 years of life might be riddled with quite a bit of disease and discomfort. In any case, if you want to make some changes to your lifestyle, you want to lose weight, you want to get fit, you want to stay healthy, you want to sleep better, you want to eat better, you want to... Sorry, see, there's that lack of sleep kicking in. You want to move better or move more. Maybe this conversation is for you. So, just drop by, hang out, ask questions while we go through a light mobility routine. Okay? We're not doing anything crazy this morning, but boy, am I looking forward to a good cup of coffee. All right. Oh. So, the idea is that we just want to understand how we can stay fit and healthy for life. It's not a crazy demand or a crazy ask. We are simply going to think about what causes or what contributes. Maybe causes is too big of a word. What contributes Bruno Lobo, thanks for dropping by. Well, he can participate along as well if he wants to. I see a lot of videos of dogs actually participating in the exercise videos. It's a nice thing to do together, but I think they'd prefer going out in the field, tossing a ball around and playing fetch. I don't think they're big on kettlebells at all. So, what contributes to some of the disease and discomfort that has become so commonplace in society, right? I think that is an important place to just start this journey and start thinking about when we talk about things such as health, fitness, and longevity, as in making the most of the time and place that we live in. And there are a number of factors, right, that we just need to consider. This isn't good or bad. This is simply just the way the world is constructed around us. Okay? It is right now so easy to come home in the evening having loaded up on caffeine and heavy foods, and then rather than going to sleep, because who feels tired after all that coffee, finding yourself either scrolling or streaming, and not, that knee's a bit sore, not for 5 or 10 minutes, but for an hour or 2 or 3. Oh boy, I am definitely feeling all of this all through my body. Ooh. Exciting times back on the judo mat. All right. So we have not only the tools of distraction and entertainment to contend with, but also the availability of foods that maybe aren't conducive to a good night's sleep. And there's a reason some of the longevity and sleep experts will tell you that eating before sleep doesn't necessarily help you rest as much as you might want to. So you might just want to take a long, hard look at that aspect of life, right? And it's a common thing because it's a societal thing, right? Everyone's keeping up with the latest shows and the latest streams, what's happening in music. I think that's not a bad thing, but it's not a helpful development when it comes to us wanting to improve the overall quality of our sleep. So, you know, you just keep that in mind, that better sleep likely starts with what we eat and drink and watch or do. Maybe not even watch, but just do in the evenings. All right. So that's one. We can also talk about food. What's the food environment like? Do you have a little or big garden in which you can grow your own crops for your own consumption? I doubt it. Okay, so we're dependent on what is being sold to us in stores and places all around us. So what do we have there? Well, we have the fresh section. That is good. What else do we have? We have, I think, nowadays, 80% of the supermarket aisles are stocked with foods that are prepackaged and pre-made. And I guess what we just need to be mindful of is that in general, for us to actually stay fit and healthy for life, we might need to take a bit more control over the types of foods that we are eating. Because all of that processed food might not yield any big problems in the short run. But obviously, when it comes to health and fitness, we are also very much interested in the long run, especially in longevity. So that is just worth keeping in mind as well, is that we have some challenges in the foods that are available to us, not only in the supermarket, but also the ubiquity of places that will prepare food for us. And that gives us very little control over the nutrient profile and the calorie density of those foods, right? Because nobody likes to do a takeaway only to be hungry 3 hours later. And at the same time, we want to eat foods that are healthy and filling, satiating. And those are generally not the cheap foods that make a profitable food service. So you have a challenge there. So to do one of the shoulder exercises. Go. This is a bit tender. Probably banged it on somebody else's knee or something yesterday. I'm going to pay the price for that for a couple of days. Some hip mobility. As we keep thinking about the challenges we face, right? And it's not just food, it's also movement. Because if we are moving a lot, or if we are moving a little, there is a big difference, okay? In terms of I'm just going to keep doing this because it feels quite good. There is a big difference in terms of how our activity levels we're going to keep our physical health at a good level, or maintain our physical health, I guess, is what I would want to say. What I mean by that is you don't need to move a lot to have a healthy system, but moving regularly at different levels of intensity definitely is going to help. Let's retry this exercise again. This side, we're doing fine. This side, struggling with a little bit this morning. It's because I'm not 20 years old anymore. And that is something to want to come to terms with in life and in activities as well. Okay. I'm going to get into that deep sit and just hang out here for a bit. So there are challenges to how well we can move, right? And it's important to recognize those, all right? And the big challenge is that we don't move our bodies nearly enough throughout the day. So it gets used to a very low level of activity. And smart as our body system is, it prepares itself for exactly that level of activity. The good news is you change the level of activity and the range of motions that you go through in daily basis, and your body begins to adapt to actually making that possible over time. And this is not something that happens in a week. Be consistent for a year, and you will discover that your body is capable of many more things than you thought it might be capable of. Let's see, we have another shoulder exercise to do. I'm not taking the big red ball with me on holidays, by the way. This is going to be quite the adventure to figure out what to do for these exercises, but we'll figure something out. I am absolutely sure of it. See, the knee is still working just fine. Which is a good thing, right? Because that's what we would want for our knees to be working just fine. So, we've talked about the three big challenges, right? There are challenges to how well we sleep. There are challenges to how well we eat. And there are challenges to how well we move. And the sad thing is that we're slowly forgetting that the situation that we find ourselves in is not the norm. It is not normal to have such abundance. And to be so unused to our bodies being able to do the things that they are capable of doing. And we can simply do better in most cases. There we go. 24 minutes. 6:15, I believe. Nothing crazy, nothing special. Just making sure that at the start of the day, checking in with my body, the way it moves, and reminding my muscles that no matter how intense last night was, well, there's a lot that they're capable of and that we are capable of doing. Thanks for dropping by, friends. Thanks for watching. I'll be back tomorrow for another training. Tomorrow's going to be heavy kettlebells. So if you're interested, well, or at least a bit more weight training rather than conditioning training. So if that's something you're interested in, go ahead, hit like, subscribe, check out my channel, and we'll be back tomorrow morning. I think it's always important for us to remember that we're good just the way we are. We've got to love ourselves before we can move on. It is the person we are today, after all, is going to get us to where we want to be tomorrow. So a bit of kindness is going to go a long way. There are a lot of people out there who want to put us down, so we lift ourselves up. We lift each other up here in this community. And the only way to get anything done is by showing up and doing the work. Okay? So I'll see you tomorrow. Have a good day. Have a good Thursday, Wednesday night if you're ready for bed, and a good Thursday tomorrow. And we'll catch up then. Take care, friends. And remember to subscribe. And remember, friends, subscribe.